The show that gets you ready for the week of football that lies ahead has returned to your screens. This is All Things Football. However, the show starts a week late, an hour late. For that, I'd like to apologize due to network reasons. It was difficult to get the show out. The show starts on a somber note, however, following the passing of former England mentor and Sven-Goran Eriksson, the first non-English manager who became famous and popular by being the first non-English manager to manage a national team in Europe. In a statement which read by reported by Sky Sports News on Monday afternoon, the legendary former England boss passed away at age 76 after a battle with pancreatic cancer. Now, Coach Ericsson enjoyed a long career in management, having worked with top clubs such as Roma, Lazio, Benfica, and of course Premier League side Manchester City. Arguably, his most famous spell as a coach came in his 5 years as England mentor, where he took England to the 2002 and 2006 World Cups, uh, where he played, which were hosted in Korea, Japan, and of course Germany in 2006, where they fell short on both occasions in the quarter-final to Brazil and Portugal, respectively. In January this year, Ericsson been had announced he had been diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer and he had been given about a year to live. The late tactician collected multiple pieces of silverware during his career on the sidelines, including two Serie A titles, while also named coach of Serie A's coach of the year in the year 2000. We wish him would like to offer our condolences to his family, to his friends, and of course his fans and his loved ones. Not just a loss to all of you, but it's a loss to the football fraternity at large. Good afternoon, welcome to it. This is All Things Football. I'm your host, Apiwe Roto, your favorite football show that gets ready for the week of football that lies ahead. Busy day in the world of football this weekend. Our last episode before we head into the international break. For take a week off for the international break that lies ahead. Onto our news. Remember to like and subscribe the show, which is available on the Amavahoto YouTube channel. In Arsenal currently underway, it's Arsenal and Brighton. Arsenal have now taken the lead with Kai Havertz scoring his third successive goal. He's been on target since kickoff. Onto our news, PSL side have agreed. Stellenbosch FC have agreed on terms with Austrian side in SV Reed. The transfer, however, remains subject to the junior international passing a medical and getting a work permit, which will allow him to travel in Europe. It is understood that he was on the radar of Kaiser Chiefs, who are hoping to snap him up for future prospect earlier this season at the before when his contract ends at the end of the season. However, SV Reid beat them to it. SV Reid campaigned in the second division in Australia and moved swiftly, communicating their intentions and buying the player out. And this makes Van Veek the third player to be sold by the club from the Winelands after Pirates bought a right back. And captain right back and captain Indiano Van Roy and Mamelodi Sundowns took a buyout clause for Ikram Reyners, leaving the squad thin. Now Van Beek was promoted from development in July 2021 and was expected to be one of the key players again this season after making impressive 34 appearances last season, which explains why Kaizer Chiefs put expressed the 22-year-old interest in the 22-year-old and made formal inquiry about his services. We are still talking Stellies. Stellenbosch CEO and Rob Bernardi, he has stated that he's insisted that they will do everything possible to hold on to their defender Fawaz Basidin, who is currently being courted by Kaizer Chiefs. It was recently reported that he has exceeded the 27-year-old had expressed desire to join the Nigeria-based side. However, in a statement made by the CEO, he made a for us, Rob Bernardi, he stated that for us as a consumer professional, yes, there is an offer from Kaiser Chiefs, but we have improved his contract recently. Now, the 27-year-old recently signed a much improved contract in the year for in the month of February, and he's still contracted to Stellenbosch Football Club. Yes, we want to keep him. He's a fantastic player, and we don't want to go backwards with our squad. They've already lost three players already, as we've mentioned earlier. We want to continue and do a similar type of performances. So for us, it's very important to us. He knows that and understands that, and there will always be pressure from the press and other clubs for a lot of players because we are doing so well. When you talked about doing well, they finished third in the last season. They finished third last season, and they want to maintain the consistency. They also finished off with the inaugural calling knockout cup. Then would want to stay consistent and successfully defend the title, and they'll go on to defend the title. But I trust in. But he goes on to say, I trust in Fawaz as an individual and a player just to be the professional he is. We've seen it in the first two games, and so far we've seen in the first two games so far. With the PSL transfer set to end on the 20th of September, Bernardi said it is unsettling to have a long window period and word of interest from the big three. It's not ideal. It is not ideal. There are a number of players, not just at our club, but at other clubs too, because the transfer window is open for so long, and which he finds very unsettling. He added, "At least we're playing." At least we are playing games. There are a lot of games which the clubs that aren't playing games, so they have to wait, and there's transfer speculation on their players also. So we know the transfer speculation with regards to uh, Ashley Dupree from Kaiser Chiefs and Games Mango, who have attracted interest from abroad. But then it's also more opportunities for other clubs to see our players playing so well, and it's going to go on until the end of the transfer window. But we're quite steadfast in a certain number of players. Already lost some important players, namely Diana van Rooyen, um, uh, Antonio van Veek, and of course Ekron Reyners. So we don't want to lose Fawaz, or do our utmost best to keep him here and keep him happy. On to our other news. Talking about those. The man affectionately known as Oskudu, being the man affectionately known as Oskudu, South African attacker, Mahlatsi Makurubela, commonly known as Skudu, has bid farewell to his Tanzanian club, Yanga, or Young Africans if you like. Now, Skudu took to Instagram to express his heartfelt gratitude uh, to his Yanga family. And showed his appreciation to the club president Haile Said, the coaching staff led by Miguel Gamondi. Now, Miguel Gamondi, in case the name rings a bell, was a coach at Platinum Stars and was also part of the Sundowns coaching technical side that led Sundowns to PSL title in 2005, in the 2005-2006 season, ending a 6-year drought. The coaching staff, led by Miguel Gamondi's teammates and close friends he made during his time at Dar es Salaam. The 34-year-old has spent a season at Dar es Salaam Yanga FC after joining from Marimo Gallants, with whom he made the semi-final in 2023 of winning the true Tanzanian Premier League and of course the Federations Cup. Skuru is considered a journeyman, having also plied his trade with Orlando Pirates, Platinum Stars, Chipper United, Golden Arrows, Highlands Park, just to mention a few, and also shared a Garrett, and also has a trophy cabinet of note since joining Tanzanian side. He wrote on his Instagram account, "Dear Younger Football Club, I'm writing to express my heartfelt gratitude to the entire family for the love and support shown to me during my stay. Your kindness and warmth have left an indelible mark on my heart. To the club's leadership, particularly Mr. GSM, President Mr. Hersey, and Mr. President, Mr. Hesse, at Camille 8 underscore 88. I extend my sincere appreciation for the faith and belief you have put in me. Your trust has meant the world to me. What an honor to have represented such a magnificent institution. The technical team led by Coach Miguel Gamondi. Coach Miguel Gamondi has been an absolute pleasure to work with you. I'm grateful to learn from you that to learn from you and grow as a player. To my fellow players, what a dynasty! I say thank you for being an incredible group of talented and hardworking individuals. You are true soldiers. I'm honored to have shared the pitch with you. Keep shining and may God bless you all. The 34-year-old wrote, expressing some special words to his younger supporters. The 34-year-old also reserved some special words to the supporters who embraced him from the moment he set foot in Tanzania, saying, last but not least, to the magnificent and lovable and electrifying supporters of Yanga FC, uh, Wanachi, which is Wanachi. I am forever grateful for your positive energy and the heartbeat of the club, and I will cherish the memories we've made together. I promise to see you again. Thank you all for making me and my family's time at Younger FC unforgettable. I bid you farewell, but not goodbye. Still on the PS, still on the local tip. More stories. Orlando Pirates midfielder Goodman Musele may find himself being loaned out again. The now the 24-year-old recently made a return from Chippa United, long lengthy loan from Chippa United. Uh, However, the squad's depth remains under some sort of scrutiny with Orlando Pirates having too many midfielders. However, there were also mentions of the side not recruiting as many seasoned campaigners, but rather opting to promote from development and recruiting from a lower league. But the midfield position remains very competitive, and the injuries for the 24-year-old's injuries have not done him any favors, so making things very difficult for him to make the match day squad. Now, the 24-year-old returned the club already carrying a knee injury that he picked up with Chippa United in May and is currently in rehabilitation phase in the treatment room. The Soweto Giants' head coach Jose Rivera has acknowledged the return of Mosele back to the squad, stating that Mosele is an old friend already. We know him very well. He's been away for 1 year. He's back and is gonna give us something extra in midfield. He stated, Coach Rivera stated, and Coach Rivera stated, and with Mahlatsi with primetime on the primetime sports with the Mahlatsi YouTube channel. However, the former Baroka FC man is expected to be out ruled out has been ruled out until November, and the Spaniard currently prefers Talent Mbata and Makesheni Makaula as the defensive midfielders in the number 6 position. As we've seen with the 4-2-3-1, which he's been implementing recently. This and in the and the return of in and what's gonna make things even more worse is gonna be the return of Miguel Tim, who was out injured, which is gonna add more competition for those number 6 spots. The other anchormen competing for spots are Ndabaite Ntondro, who's been spending more time on the bench, and Spello Balloni, and who both have options, who both have been options off the bench for the side so far in their first three matches, which is the MTN 8. Currently have time at the Emirates Stadium with that Kai Havertz goal making the difference. against Brighton and Hove and Albion. Will keep tabs on that game for you. If you are unable to see it, you may be in traffic, you may be on the road, you may be watching the show on your cell phone on the Apiwe Roto network. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy the show, and ring the bell for notification. The show premieres every Saturday at lunch hour. Apologies again for starting an hour late. It was due to network and technical problems. Now, Musela was a regular in his last season, but picked up a serious injury midway through 2022-23, and sitting out for at least 4 months. He was sent out on loan to get some game time to Chiba United following the following league term, barring any injuries by the time the Bafana International returns. So it'll be hard for him to get game time during the busiest period of the season, as he has not had pre-season. Furthermore, with January around the corner, he will be considering another loan, so he doesn't spend the whole season without any game time. On to our other news. Nigeria have appointed German tactician Bruno Labbadia. The Super Eagles have appointed German tactician in Bruno Labbadia. The German tactician becomes the sixth German mentor to lead the Super Eagles, filling in a position left by Finidi George, who resigned after failing to beat South Africa and Benin. Now, currently, but Nigeria are competing are competing to book themselves a place in the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which is set to take place in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. Finidi George was at the helm at the encounter for those games. Now, Bafana Nigeria were held to a 1-0 draw by South Africa at the Oyo International Stadium before falling short to Benin, losing by 2 goals to 1, leading to the former winger resigning and the Nigerian Football Federation looking for a success. They have been looking for a successor ever since. There have been multiple head coaches who have been linked with the position. There's also the qualification of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations set to commence next week. There was an urgent need for the Chiefs to make an appointment before deciding on former Bayern Munich striker and Bruno Labbadia as the man to lead the three-time African champions for the foreseeable future. In a statement made by the federation, an official statement by the Nigerian Football Federation on social media channel reads, the Nigerian Football Federation has announced that it has reached an agreement with German tactician Bruno Labbadia to become the head coach of the Nigeria senior national team, the Super Eagles. Nigeria's General Secretary, Dr. Mohamed Sanusi, said in the early hours of Tuesday the Nigerian Executive Committee has approved the recommendation of its technical and development subcommittee to appoint Mr. Bruno Labbadia as the head coach of the Super Eagles. The appointment is with immediate effect. Labbadia becomes the sixth German tactician to take charge of the African powerhouse and will begin his reign as the nation's head coach, where he goes up against former Nigeria head coach and compatriot Raw in the next match for the AFCON qualifiers, for booking a spot for the tournament next Africa's biggest showpiece, which takes place in Morocco next year. In other news, Kaiser Stellenbosch FC have signed former Cape Town Spurs forward and Ashley Chipido as the potential replacement for Ekram Reyners, who recently departed to make way for to join Mamelodi Sundowns. The story reads as is. Now, if you remember clearly, we've addressed how Sundowns Stellies lost three key players. However, I have added some in Stanley Barnes, Letlhono Mojela. Ashley Chipido becomes among those. Chipido was also on the radar of Kai. Chipido has been on the radar of some sides. namely Kaiser Chiefs. Uh, if we can seem to have lost the story here, if we can just get the story. Let's move on to the next one while we look for that one. Let's explain that. Uh, there's been talks of how Mike, former Orlando Pirates coach turned agent Mike McCabe, is said to have an agenda against Kaiser Chiefs, and there was by not getting them players, by not getting them quality players. Now the former coach turned player agent has broken his silence with regard to the accusations. If we can look for that also. Now these accusations have been deemed as false by the mentor. Let's have we seem to have lost that one also. Let's move on to the next one. We look at the ban. A Liverpool and Uruguay international Liverpool and Uruguay forward, and Darwin Nunes has been on the receipt has been banned after has been punished after fighting with football fans during Copa America encounter against Colombia, and was slapped with a massive ban and a heavy fine for his involvement in a violent brawl with fans last month. And now the South American football governing body in CONMEBOL has officially sanctioned the Liverpool star for his role in the fight between players and fans. The incident took place during the match between Uruguay and Colombia in the semi-finals of the competition, from which Uruguay, Colombia emerged victorious. The red striker has now been given a five-match international ban in the brawl for his part in the brawl, as well as a 15,000 euros, which is about 352,000, which is estimated to 352,000 rand in South African rands, a fine, according to the Express. It is believed that the goal poacher climbed into the crowd in an effort to protect his loved ones who were seated in the family section. That had been stormed by a mob of disorderly fans. According to the Liverpool Echo, the 25-year-old tried to throw a foldable chair during the fracas, but a security guard made a timely. But the security guard Mm, but a secu- but the security guard made a timely intervention, preventing the chair from hitting anyone. Nunez will now will not be eligible to play for his nation until the 2026 World Cup in November. Although he's expected to miss, as such, he is expected to miss crucial fixtures against Guatemala, Paraguay, Venezuela, Peru, and Ecuador. It is understood that 11 players have been sanctioned for the violent conduct, including Nunez's compatriots in Rodrigo Benteke from Tottenham Hotspur, who received a 4-match ban for his part, and additionally, the Uruguayan Football Association had also been fined a sum of 15,000 euros. While Nunez has been handed the harshest punishment, his teammates Matias Oliveira, Ronald Araujo, and Jose Maria Gimenez all got 3-match bans for their misconduct, plus fines of 9,000 euros, of about 212,000 each. More players include Santiago Mele, Matias Vina, Sebastian Caceres, Emiliano Martinez, Facundo Palestri, and Brian Rodriguez have been fined 3,800 rand, $3,800, which is 89,000 rand, for their wrongdoing. Let's try and find the football while we try and look for those missing stories. Coach Hugo Bros has named his squad to take part in the AFCON qualifiers, which take place next week. The international break kicks off next week. The international break takes place is on next week, starting from the 2nd of September. Uh, and will conclude on the 11th of September. Goalkeepers. The team was the team had 30 players roughly, a preliminary squad of 30 players if my memory serves me well. However, the team has now been cut down to 23 with goalkeepers, namely Veli Mutwa, Ricardo Goss, and Sepo China, while your defenders will include now Super Sport new signings, Sini Mobi, Tapelo Morena, Rashun Dudley from Kaiser Chiefs, Nkosinathi Sibisi, Aubrey Mudiba, Kuliso Mutau, Fawaz Basadine, Sebonga Ngezane, and Grant Kikana. Your midfielders are Deboho Mukwena, Jaden Adams, and Pepe Lositole and Talented Mbata, just to mention a few. While your forwards will include attackers will include Tamba Zwane, Austin Apollos, Patrick Masonganye, Ekrem Reines, Elias Mukwana, Lyle Foster, and of course Captain Yema 2000. Now let's try and get back to those. While we work to get back to those stories we lost, we dissect the Champions League draw. Now, and this year's Champions League draw comes with a form of a difference where different teams are two teams are put in different pots. Eight teams are put in different pots and are going to play two teams from each pot, two from their own pot, and no team is allowed to play a team play in from their own league. Example being Arsenal cannot play against Manchester City or Liverpool or whatsoever, as Marseille, PSG cannot play Lille or Lens. Pot we start with pot one. We start with pot one, which had Real Madrid, holders Real Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint Germain, Liverpool, Inter Milan, Leipzig, Man City, by Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig, and FC Barcelona. Pot one includes now for pot one. Now we start with Real Madrid, who are going to face Borussia kick off their fixture, their Champions League campaign at home to Borussia Dortmund before traveling to Liverpool in pot one, and pot two they host AC Milan and Atalanta away. Before the pot three, in pot three they host Salzburg, and now in each pot it's you play two games, a home and away, home and away, home and away. We've done away with the group stages. We've done away with the group stages where you played a game twice. So every point is vital. We have 36 teams. 4 teams have been added, with the exception of Germany and Italy, who have now been granted 5 spots. They've been granted 5 spots in the tournament. Now, as the new rules of the tournament entail, the club, each club now key now, I must emphasize that every 3 points mattered. This is league format, so your points matter. The first 8 is gonna be through. Will advance to the first 8 will advance to the round of 16, while 16 to 24 will compete for the will take on each other in a once-off playoff knockout fixtures to make up the other 8 to make the round of 16, while 25 to 36 will all be eliminated and will not be in the Europa League or the Conference League. Let's talk all thing. Let's have a look at those stories that we lost earlier. We go back to those stories, namely the signing of Ashley Chipido, who was plying his trade at Cape Town Spurs and will now move to the Winelands after the side uh, following the departure of Ekrem Reyners, who is now gonna ply his trade at Mamelodi Sundowns. They've completed the signing of Ashlyn Chipido from City Rivals. The 23-year-old netted 7 goals and 27 appearances, despite his side getting relegated. Uh, despite his side Cape Town Spurs getting relegated. despite his side suffering relegation. In a statement made by CEO Rob Bernardi, Rob Bernardi stated that Mr. Rob Bernardi stated that we are excited to welcome the talented 23-year-old to our ambitious club. He is a player who will fit into our system well, and we believe, has the ability and we believe he has the ability to consistently feature at the top end of the PSL scoring charts, heading to Cape Town Spurs on a permanent deal. Mervyn, another one, the cutting knockout champions also confirmed that striker Mervyn Borgi will be heading to Spurs on a permanent deal, stating that Mervyn Borgi is a local hero who we believe will take this opportunity to get more consistent game time and realize his full potential. Bernardi stated he was instrumental in our reserve team winning two DSTV Disky Challenge titles, scoring 31 goals in 30 appearances in that competition, and we have no doubt that he will succeed in this new challenge. On to our last story. We tried to find our last story, included the which included accusations regarding player turned agent, coach turned agent, and Mike Macab, who many feel he has an agenda. Agenda. I put agenda loosely here because this is a very big accusation to make. Uh, let's see. Following accusations of supporters by Kaichi supporters that agent Mike Macab is not we seem to be struggling to get the picture. However, let's keep trying. We're working on that. We apologize for the technical issues that have been causing problems today. We seem to have captured the story. The Now the agent has broken his silence. Uh, were following accusations that he does not favor Kyle Chiefs with the best players that he may he in that are based in his stable. The experienced intermediary has responded. Now, the player turned player agent caused anticipation after suggesting that he had offered Chiefs a striker without revealing his identity. However, speculation then spread like wildfire that the striker in question is Togolese forward and Yahoo Albango, who plays his football for Algerian side Aslo Chlef, following his links with Amakosi. The former Orlando Pirates coach subsequently revealed that the Giants rejected a striker that, in his opinion, is the best on the African continent. Now, however, the club's fans did not seem convinced. Macab recommended a quality striker to Chiefs, claiming he was always takes the cream of the crop in his agency to Mamelodi Sundowns. Macab indicated that's not true, as he gave Chiefs his first preference on Andy Lejali after he left his side and Belgium KV Ostende in 2018. And he goes on to say, let me add, Sfiso Villagaz from Vets was offered to Chiefs. Sepom Bule was offered to Chiefs. He said during an interview on Gaga's FM, he goes on to say, I cannot force any football club to sign a player. The Glamour Boys are now in the shop window for a go-to man for goals after netting a merely 25 goals and 30 league matches. Two lower than Cape Town Spurs, who were relegated. This means that an average of 0.8 games per match in the Premiership. They haven't scored an average of 0.8 per game in the Premiership. A major reason why they finished 10th, missing out on this season's top 8. Chiefs' signings for forward position so far leave much to be desired, with only 33-year-old Gaston Serino as a noteworthy acquisition. The Coast Nation was left wondering if they're going to enjoy another average season, ending up front after a 4-0 defeat to Young Africans in the inaugural Toyota Cup during the preseason, after seemingly being unable to acquire the services of Fiston Mayele from Pyramids. The club is reportedly in contention with Rally Mukwena for waited Mukwena's with Roland Mukwena's waited Casablanca for younger forward Clement Mzize, who joined whilst they were coached by Nasruddin Nabi. And that's all we have for on the story section. Let's see what happened last week. We date back to the results dating back to from the 24th of August. Brighton felt what proved too strong with goals from former United forward and Danny Welbeck, despite Ahmad Diallo as goal equalizer. Joao Pedro had other ideas. Uh, sinking United at the death. United put Tottenham on the other side, put four past Everton at Tottenham Stadium with no reply. Crystal Palace flew falling short by 2 goals to nil, but from to the at the hands of their fellow rivals West Ham United. Southampton proved falling short by that odd goal by Nottingham Forest. Fulham proved too strong by for Leicester City winning by 2 goals to 1, while Kai Havertz and Bukayo Saka were on target once again for Arsenal against Aston Villa. Manchester City's hat trick, come from behind hat trick from Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne were enough to sink Ipswich Town. On Sunday, we saw two hat tricks, a hat trick of assists from Cole Palmer and a hat trick of goals from Noni Madueke. Goals Another goal from Cole Palmer was just to mention a full few, and Nicholas Jackson also getting on the score sheet alongside Joao Felix. Bournemouth and Newcastle could not be separated, playing to a 1-all draw. Results from Cape Town City and Orlando Pirates. We saw first leg results. Chiefs City and Pirates playing to a stalemate 1-1 draw with JD JD Rhodes cancelling Relebo Kilimofu Games opener, which will mean Cape Town City will go to Orlando Stadium with the away goal advantage. Another one is for us, Basadine getting on the score sheet, well, from the spot kick, winning against Mamelodi Sundowns by that odd goal. Here's what you can expect as far as this week is concerned. Currently underway, we is the second half. With Arsenal still leading by that goal to nil, that Kai Havertz goal. Here's what you can expect. MTN 8, we start with Orlando Pirates and Cape Town City at Orlando Stadium. Orlando Pirates will be looking for a three-peat, defending and making them the first ever team to defend the MTN 8 for 3 successive seasons. However, Cape Town City have an away goal advantage, having finished the Pirates rather have an away goal advantage, having won that game by or having drawn by 1-1. So if the game ends 0-0, Pirates will be in the final, while Steelies have that 1 goal advantage from that Fawaz Basadine penalty spot kick goal. Will They will be hosting Mamelodi Sundowns at Moses Mabhida Stadium after Danny Craven was deemed unplayable. Here's what you can expect. Currently underway, it's Arsenal and Brighton. The score is currently 1-0 to Arsenal. We are deep into the second half. The second game to follow after that is Nottingham Forest versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Leicester City take on Aston Villa, while Ipswich Town will come Fulham. Southampton travel to Brentford. Everton will take on Bournemouth, and West Ham. We close off with West Ham taking on Manchester City. Last week, tomorrow, as we head into the international break, we don't have Monday night football. The game, we have another London derby for Crystal Palace as they travel to Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge. Chelsea looking to build on that 6-2 and they'll be oozing with confidence after that 6-2 win over Wolverhampton Wanderers. And Newcastle will welcome Tottenham at the St James's Park, and we conclude with one of the oldest rivalries in world football, with Manchester United taking on Liverpool at Old Trafford. And that's all we have time for on All Things Football. The show takes a break next week and we'll return on the 14th of September. We will bring you our bread and butter, local bread and butter, match day one of the Betway Premiership. Like and subscribe. Ring the notification bell for the show that premieres every Saturday on the Apiwe Roto network. Uh, that's all we have time for. Enjoy the show and enjoy the football. And let's give it a name and call it a day. Let's give it a name and call it a day. My name is Apiwe Roto. Take care of yourselves and each other. Cheers.